Have you ever paused on the second step of a staircase and wondered, when did this get so hard? It used to be nothing, just a few quick strides and you were at the top. But now, your knees ache, your legs feel heavy, and sometimes you grab the railing, just in case. This quiet shift doesn't happen overnight, and it's not just age. It's your body trying to tell you something. Weak legs aren't just a symptom of getting older. They're a sign, a signal, a gentle warning that your independence, stability, and freedom to move through life are being threatened. But here's the truth, no one tells you. It's not too late. You can rebuild what time has slowly taken. In this video, we'll uncover why your legs are the first to weaken as you age, and more importantly, what you can do today to start feeling stronger, steadier, and more alive in your own body. And the best part, I'll reveal 3 simple, powerful foods that help nourish your legs, protect your bones, and restore your confidence step by step. But first, if you care about staying healthy and active in your later years, I gently invite you to subscribe to this channel. We share weekly guidance, not just for your body, but for your peace of mind and heart. Chapter 1, Why Your Legs Weaken First, The Invisible Shift. Harold was 68 when it happened. He wasn't climbing a mountain or running a marathon. He was just trying to rise from his recliner after reading the paper. But his legs didn't respond. There was a strange, unfamiliar tremble. He paused, tried again, and felt, for the first time, like his body wasn't listening to him. He laughed it off at first, blamed it on a bad night's sleep. But deep down, something had changed. If you've ever felt that moment of weakness that lingers a little too long, you're not alone. And you're not imagining it. As we age, the muscles in our body go through a natural process called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength. This begins quietly in our 40s, as we lose about 1% of muscle each year. But by the time we reach our 60s or 70s, that loss can double. And where do we notice it first? The legs. Why? Because your legs are your foundation. They carry you from the bed to the kitchen, from the porch to the sidewalk, from the living room to that garden you love. They're in near constant use. So when muscle loss begins, they're the first to signal distress. Imagine your muscles as a savings account. In youth, you're constantly depositing energy, strength, resilience. But as time passes, your body makes more withdrawals than deposits. And the legs, which are always spending strength just to keep you upright, begin to fall short. At first, it's subtle, a little extra effort to climb stairs, a longer pause before standing, a quiet sigh as you sit down. But slowly, that shift grows. Gardening becomes tiring. Walking to the mailbox feels farther. Dancing, a distant memory. And the danger isn't just discomfort. Weakened legs are one of the leading risk factors for falls in older adults. And as you may know, one fall, just one, can change everything. Fractures, surgeries, loss of independence, sometimes even worse. But here's what I want you to remember. Your legs are not gone. They are just calling out for support. And with the right knowledge, the right movement, and the right nourishment, you can answer that call. In the next chapter, I'll share with you a powerful real-life transformation and introduce the first of 3 foods that can help you rebuild strength from the inside out. Let's keep walking together. Chapter 2, Margaret's Turning Point. The first food that gave her strength back. Margaret had always been the lively one in her friend group. At 72, she still wore bright scarves, loved ballroom dancing, and took morning walks around the lake behind her apartment. But somewhere along the way, her walks became shorter. She would pause more often, look for a bench. Her knees felt unstable, her legs shaky. She started avoiding stairs. And when her doctor gently mentioned muscle loss, she felt a quiet fear creep in. "I thought I was just getting older," she confessed, "but I didn't realize I was losing pieces of my freedom." Margaret didn't want a future where her legs couldn't carry her to the places she loved. So she made a decision, a quiet, powerful one. She would start with food, Her first change? Fatty fish. It seemed simple enough, but what she didn't expect was how transformative it would be. Fatty fish, the unsung muscle builder. Let's talk about why Margaret's choice made such a difference. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, even canned tuna. These aren't just tasty, they're some of the most muscle-loving foods you can put on your plate. Why? Because they're rich in omega-3 fatty acids, healthy fats that reduce inflammation, ease joint stiffness, and help your muscles recover after movement. Think of them as lubrication for your legs, so every step becomes smoother, less painful, more confident. But there's more. Fatty fish are also packed with high-quality protein, which is the raw material your body uses to rebuild and strengthen muscle fibers. It's like handing your legs the bricks and mortar they need to stand tall again. And one last bonus. Many fatty fish are also high in vitamin D, a nutrient that not only supports strong bones but also helps improve mood and energy levels. When Margaret started eating grilled salmon twice a week, along with a tuna salad and the occasional sardine snack, she wasn't just feeding her body, she was restoring her mobility. Within 2 months, she felt lighter on her feet. By month 3, she returned to her morning walks, this time without needing the bench. And one evening, to the surprise of her friends, she walked into the local community center and signed up for dance night. Margaret's story isn't rare, it's just rarely told. So if you're wondering where to begin, start with your plate, and if cooking feels like a chore, remember, even canned salmon or tuna with whole grain crackers can give your body what it needs. If you don't eat fish, you still have options. Walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, or omega-3 supplements. Because every step towards strength starts with a choice, and every bite of nourishment is a vote for your future. Before we move on, if Margaret's story has inspired you, even just a little, I warmly invite you to subscribe to this channel, not just to support us, but to remind yourself every week that it's never too late to take your power back. Chapter 3, The Silent Defender. How dairy gives your legs their strength back. John never thought much about his legs until the day they failed him. He was in the kitchen, reaching up for a jar on the top shelf. It wasn't a heavy lift, just a stretch, but as he rose on his toes, a sharp pain shot through his knee, and before he knew it, he was on the floor. It wasn't a bad fall, but it shook him, not just physically, but emotionally. I realized, he later said, that I had no idea how fragile I'd become. His doctor told him the truth that most people don't hear until it's too late. You're not just losing muscle, you're losing bone. And that was the wake-up call. What saved John wasn't some trendy superfood or expensive treatment. It was something simple, familiar, comforting, dairy, the guardian of strength and stability. When we think of milk or cheese, we often picture childhood. A glass of warm milk before bed, a slice of cheese in a sandwich. But as it turns out, dairy is just as powerful for the second half of life as it was in the first. Here's why. Dairy is one of the best sources of 2 essential nutrients that your legs desperately need: protein and calcium. Let's start with protein. Every time you move, stand up, sit down, walk, the muscles in your legs experience tiny micro tears. That's normal. But to repair and grow stronger, your body needs protein. And as we age, we need more protein than we did in our younger years, because our ability to rebuild weakens. A single cup of Greek yogurt provides up to 20 grams of protein. A glass of milk gives you 8 grams. Even a slice of cheese packs a punch. These aren't just snacks. They're building blocks for the strength you thought you lost. Then there's calcium, the quiet hero. It's what gives your bones their density and resilience. Without enough calcium, your bones become brittle, porous, and vulnerable. And brittle bones, even with strong muscles, can lead to fractures from something as simple as a stumble. And here's the thing most people don't know. As you age, your body absorbs less calcium from food, so you need more, just to stay level. That's why including dairy products in your daily life is not just helpful, it's necessary. John's simple shift after his fall. John didn't become a bodybuilder. He didn't take an intense fitness plan. He just started with two things: a glass of milk with breakfast, a cup of yogurt after his evening walk. Sometimes he'd snack on cottage cheese with fruit or add a slice of sharp cheddar to his sandwich. Nothing fancy, but slowly, he noticed the changes. Standing felt easier. His legs didn't ache as much after walking, and the next time he stretched to reach a high shelf, he didn't fall. Strength, he said, comes in quiet ways. Tell me how you can start today. If you already enjoy dairy, you're ahead. If not, here are a few gentle ways to invite it in. Start your morning with a latte or warm milk. Add Greek yogurt to your smoothies. Sprinkle a bit of cheese over your salad or soup. Snack on yogurt with honey and walnuts in the afternoon. And if dairy doesn't agree with you, don't worry. There are plant-based options like fortified soy milk, almond milk, or oat milk that still offer calcium and sometimes added protein, and leafy greens like broccoli, kale, or bok choy also bring calcium to the table, because in the end, it's not about drinking milk, it's about giving your legs the quiet strength they deserve. And every time you do, you're choosing a future where you move freely. Chapter 4. The Green Secret: How Leafy Vegetables Keep You Walking Free. Gloria had a garden. Nothing grand, just a few raised beds behind her home, filled with tomatoes, herbs, and rows of leafy greens: spinach, kale, collards, arugula. To anyone else, it was just a hobby, but to Gloria, it was sacred. In the early mornings, with the mist still clinging to the air, she'd step out barefoot, crouch low, and gently tend to her plants. But last spring, something changed. She started having trouble squatting down. Her knees trembled. Her balance felt off. One morning, as she leaned forward to harvest spinach, she lost her footing and fell sideways. No injuries, just a bruise, but it shook her. "I realized I couldn't even kneel in my garden anymore," she said softly, and that broke my heart more than the fall. Her daughter, a dietitian, asked her a surprising question. "Mom, you grow all these beautiful greens, but do you eat them every day?" Gloria laughed and then paused, because the answer was no. She gave them away, shared them, admired them, but rarely fed herself with them. So that week, she made a quiet promise to nourish her legs with the very things she grew: leafy greens, the gentle powerhouses, spinach, kale, collards, arugula. These aren't just healthy choices, they're lifesavers. Packed into every leaf are nutrients that work behind the scenes to protect your bones, muscles, and circulation. Let's break it down. Vitamin K. This nutrient helps your body absorb and lock in calcium, making it essential for maintaining bone strength. Without it, calcium may pass through your system without doing its job. Leafy greens are among the best natural sources of vitamins, especially kale and collard greens. Magnesium. This quiet mineral plays a big role in how your muscles contract and relax. Ever had night cramps or leg stiffness after a walk? Magnesium helps prevent that. Spinach and Swiss chard are particularly rich in it. Potassium, needed for fluid balance, nerve signals, and muscle contractions. It works hand in hand with sodium to ensure your muscles function smoothly so your legs move freely, without locking or trembling. Arugula and beet greens are wonderful sources, and that's just the beginning. These greens also offer antioxidants, folate, iron, and fiber, supporting your circulation, digestion, and overall vitality. Gloria's simple change. She didn't go vegan, she didn't count calories, she just added a handful of greens to her meals every single day. A spinach and egg scramble for breakfast, a kale salad with lemon and olive oil at lunch, sautéed collards with garlic and a sprinkle of sea salt for dinner. Sometimes she'd blend arugula into her smoothie, or throw a few fresh leaves on top of soup. Nothing dramatic, just small, loving acts of nourishment. 3 months later, she was kneeling again, in her garden, with bare feet, whispering thanks to the soil beneath her. How you can begin. Adding leafy greens to your life doesn't have to feel like a chore. Here are some gentle ways to start. Add a handful of baby spinach to your morning omelet or smoothie. Build a salad with kale, walnuts, and a simple vinaigrette. Sauté greens with garlic and olive oil as a comforting side dish. Stir them into soups, stews, pasta, or rice bowls. And remember, you don't need to be perfect. Even just a few servings a week can begin to shift your strength, your energy, and your balance. Because every leaf, every bite, is a quiet act of care. And your legs, your beautiful, brave legs, deserve to be cared for. Chapter 5, The Walk Back to Yourself. If you've made it this far, let me say this to you. You care. You're not someone who's given up or accepted decline as inevitable. You're still listening to your body, still asking questions, still hoping, and that's where transformation begins. Maybe your legs have felt weaker lately. Maybe you've stopped doing small things you once loved, gardening, dancing, walking after dinner. Maybe the world feels a little more unstable beneath your feet. But here's the truth. I hope you carry with you after this video. You are not broken. You are not too late, and you are not powerless. Your legs may have grown tired, but they are still yours. They remember every step you've taken toward love, toward family, toward purpose. They carried you through grief and joy, across hospitals and dance floors, through rainy sidewalks in the sunny parks, and with the right support from nourishing food, gentle movement, and steady encouragement, they can carry you forward again. Maybe that starts today, with a forkful of leafy greens, with a small bowl of yogurt, with a piece of salmon and a quiet promise whispered to yourself. I'm not done yet. Because strength, real strength, isn't loud. It's not always in the gym or on the treadmill. Sometimes it's in choosing life, in choosing yourself, one meal, one step, one breath at a time. If this video brought something meaningful to your heart, if it reminded you of your power, then I gently ask you, one final time, subscribe to this channel, not just for more information, but for the quiet support of a community that believes in aging with strength, dignity, and grace. And now, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What is one small thing you'll start doing this week to support your legs and your health? Your answer might be the light someone else needs to keep going. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to walk this path. And remember, your legs may carry your body, but your heart carries your courage. Let's keep walking together